They say the ocean keeps secrets that even the heavens hesitate to witness, and yet Chu Feng has just glimpsed one, an entity whose existence tugs at a memory he cannot grasp. In Martial God Asura, chapter 670-6118, the monster that once ensnared countless souls vanishes, leaving a trembling trail of power in its wake. Chu Feng rises from the deep, heart racing, only to find Little Fishy gone and then, like a living torrent, returning, unstoppable and inexplicably fierce. As new forces converge on the scene, with the Immortal Execution Archipelago sending its elite and whispers of Ya Fei stir the crowd, Chu Feng must navigate a web of intrigue, wonder, and looming peril. In these fleeting moments, the boundaries between ally and adversary blur, and the next heartbeat could decide the fate of the extraordinary. The sea lay in eerie silence, shrouded in a mist that seemed almost alive. And then, swish, a shadow moved. It turned, glimpsed, and vanished before the world could catch its shape. Chu Feng's heart skipped a beat. In that fleeting moment, he sensed the return of the power he thought was lost. The sealed formation that had trapped him now revealed a fissure, a narrow gate of freedom, as if the monstrous presence had deliberately allowed him passage. A chill of curiosity crept up his spine. Why does this feel so familiar? Who are you really? He muttered to himself, yet no memory came. The answer remained shrouded, elusive as smoke. With no time to linger, he pressed on, leaving the treacherous depths behind. Chu Feng descended into the ocean's depths, swimming with careful patience, a shadow among shadows. He lingered below the waves, hiding, severing all traces that might betray his escape. Only when he was certain the coast was clear did he dare rise again to the surface. The first sight that met him was not the place of the monster's terror, but the quiet space where Little Fishy waited. And yet, a knot of dread tightened in his chest. Where is she?" he whispered, scanning the area. The spirit formation he had carefully set still shimmered faintly, but she had vanished. Little Fishy was no ordinary being. Her uniqueness had drawn countless eyes, some cruel, some kind, all eager to claim her. A kind soul might shelter her. A merciless one could study her, experiment upon her, and bring untold suffering. Chu Feng's pulse quickened with worry. Then, a joyful, unmistakable voice rang across the waves. "Big brother, yeah!" Chu Feng's gaze shot toward the sound. The ocean roiled violently several miles away, rising like a blade of water aimed straight at him. The speed was staggering, faster than any technique he knew, surpassing even his Azure Dragon dashing technique. In that instant, the truth became clear. Little Fishy was no ordinary child. She was a force of nature, a tiny monster of the sea. With a splashless leap, she landed into his embrace, completely dry, as though she had never touched the water. "Ha, big brother, you've finally come back. I haven't gone anywhere. Aren't I obedient?" she chirped, eyes gleaming. Chu Feng's tension eased. "Yes, very obedient. You are the most obedient, Little Fishy," he murmured, holding the lively girl close, his heart slowing from its frantic beat. Eggy, hovering nearby, giggled softly. "This little one, she's no simple talent. Her speed alone surpasses yours, Chu Feng. Truly remarkable." Curiosity flickered in Chu Feng's eyes. "Eggy, do you know where she comes from?" Eggy's gaze lingered on the intricate symbols stitched into Little Fishy's undergarment. Judging by that mark, one might discern her origin. As for the exact place, "I am not of this world, so I cannot say with certainty." Chu Feng leaned closer, studying the symbol. It was unfamiliar, unlike any emblem known among the powers of the Eastern Sea region. A thought stirred in him. Could she hail from a hidden force unknown to ordinary eyes? Or perhaps from a mystical realm, the fabled Holy Land of martialism? Wherever it was, Chu Feng sensed that the child's origin was extraordinary. "Little Fishy, do you know where this undergarment came from?" he asked gently. "This? I don't know. It was here when I opened my eyes. Hey," she replied innocently, stretching, revealing the pink cloth. Chu Feng could only smile faintly. No answers would come from her. Suddenly, the wind shifted. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. From afar, figures streaked through the sky with deadly purpose. Experts of the heaven realm, their eyes fixed not on Chu Feng, but on the site where the monster had ensnared the innocent. More waves of people followed, their excitement palpable. Faces flushed with the thrill of discovery. Through murmurs and exchanged glances, Chu Feng learned of Ya Fei, a prominent figure from the Immortal Execution Archipelago, who had arrived to seize the monster. A frown creased his brow. He could not allow this. The monster's identity, and its connection to him, was a mystery yet unsolved. He would not stand idly by while it was destroyed. Quickly, Chu Feng dressed Little Fishy in plain attire, hiding her famed identity. "Little Fishy, can you stay with me quietly and not speak or move freely?" he asked with a smile. She nodded thrice, adorable and obedient. Chu Feng smiled, heart eased, and soared toward the gathering crowd. The scene that met him was chaotic. Almost 10,000 people had assembled where the monster had struck. Word traveled fast, and Ya Fei's arrival had drawn immense attention. At the very heart of the throng stood 20 women, their presence commanding and radiant. They were martial lords of the Immortal Execution Archipelago, masters whose renown stretched across the 9 provinces. Youthful yet imposing, their beauty concealed lethal power. Every eye in the vicinity was drawn not to them, but to the singular figure standing before their ranks. A figure whose aura would shape the next moment in this unfolding saga of the martial world. In the crowded arena, a presence emerged that seemed to bend the very air around it. Eyes turned instinctively, and a hushed awe rippled through the assembly. There, stepping into view, was a young woman whose very essence radiated power and beauty alike. Her figure was a sculpted vision of elegance, tall, slender, and astonishingly proportioned. Every curve of her body spoke of perfection, from the graceful sweep of her waist to the formidable strength hinted at beneath her flowing garments. Even the delicate folds of her skirt could not conceal the allure of her form. She was a living testament to the harmony of strength and beauty. And her face was a masterpiece. Long, arching brows framed eyes deep and luminous, drawing the gaze as if the soul itself might be glimpsed within. Her lips, subtly tinged with red, curved with an inviting yet mysterious smile that whispered both promise and power. Among the gathered spectators, few could claim beauty comparable to hers. Even the famed Suru and Sume paled in her presence, while only the legendary Ziling or the enigmatic Eggy might rival her charm. Yet what struck those who watched her was not merely the splendor of her form. It was the aura she carried. A surging, almost tangible power radiated from her, the mark of a rank 5 martial lord. Chu Feng observed her carefully, his mind measuring her cultivation, her potential. She was no more than in her early 20s, yet her strength alone marked her as a prodigy of the highest order. In this young figure, beauty and martial genius intertwined seamlessly, a pride not only of her sect, but of the heavens themselves. Through whispers and stolen conversations, Chu Feng pieced together her identity. This formidable woman was none other than Lady Ya Fei of the Immortal Execution Archipelago. Recognition sparked a low exhale from him. The tales of her prowess were no exaggeration. The archipelago's foundations were indeed as deep as the legends claimed. True power, he realized, was not just strength. It was presence, aura, and the ability to command attention without uttering a word. Nearby, a hulking man's eyes glimmered with undisguised desire as he gazed upon her. His admiration bordered on crass obsession. Yet Chu Feng, seasoned enough to ignore such vulgarity, focused instead on the words being exchanged. "The 3 great beauties of the Eastern Sea region," the man murmured, reverence mixed with lust in his tone. Intrigued, Chu Feng probed further. "3 great beauties? Who are they?" he asked. Curiosity sharpened by the mention of this exalted title. The man scoffed, a sneer curling on his lips. "Are you truly a man, young brother, not to know the Eastern Sea's treasures?" A younger observer, drawn in by the exchange, approached cautiously. "I thought there were only 2 great beauties. When did it become 3? The hulking man's smirk deepened. "Ah, it has changed only recently. A few months past there were 2. Now a 3rd has arisen." He spoke with relish as he named them. First, the genius of the Immortal Execution Archipelago, Lady Ya Fei herself, the fiancée of the archipelago's young master. The revelation ignited a flicker of tension in Chu Feng. Memories and grudges intertwined. Ziling, the woman he loved, had been forcibly taken to the Eastern Sea, bound by fate to the archipelago's master. That knowledge stoked the flames of rivalry and resentment in his heart. Next, the second beauty was unveiled, Lady Chuju of Misty Peak, disciple of Lady Piao Miao. Tales spoke of her beauty like frost, untouchable and untamed. Ya Fei's radiance burned like fire. Chuju's was the serene chill of ice. To witness them was said to awaken awe and admiration alike, and the man's gaze betrayed his longing to see it with his own eyes. "But the third?" pressed the younger man, his voice tinged with both excitement and disbelief. The answer fell like a thunderclap. Lady Ziling of the Flower Valley's Z family, a divine body whose emergence had shaken the Eastern Sea over a decade ago. The name struck Chu Feng like lightning. Ziling, his beloved, the one he had come to this treacherous land to rescue, was among the famed beauties of the East. His pulse quickened. The air around him seemed to tighten. The man elaborated further, recounting how Ziling, once known as Ziyuer, had been sequestered in cultivation for years. Now, having re-emerged under her new name, she had captivated all who beheld her, even overshadowing the celebrated Ya Fei and Chuju, a fairy descended from legend, her visage untouchable in its perfection, as if the heavens themselves had painted her form. Chu Feng's heart tightened as conflicting emotions surged within him: love, longing, indignation, and the bitter sting of destiny. Here, before even confronting the young master of the Immortal Execution Archipelago, he faced another twist of fate: the presence of his beloved, now enshrined among the Eastern Sea's most radiant figures. And with her unparalleled strength, the challenge of the path ahead only deepened, fraught with peril, admiration, and the relentless drive of martial destiny. In that moment, the legend of the three great beauties unfolded, not merely as a tale of appearances, but as a saga of power, ambition, and the intertwining fates of warriors and lovers alike. The Eastern Sea shimmered with promise, challenge, and the untold trials yet to come.